Tagal medyo ah. Projectile. Ayun, project.
The ritual awaits, Lash. And once you complete it, your greatness will no longer be in doubt.
Oh shit, I missed. Fair. Saan kaya ako pwede mag-anchor?
Having fun yet? I got money to burn.
What the?
Go back. Dive kicks? We're in trouble now.
Come back if you need anything else.
Nasaktan yun ah. Nagpumalag ako.
Quit wasting my time and come out and fight. Die strike. Oh, they'll be crying about that one. You're not even trying. I wonder what they have at the shop.
No! Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Yung buhay ito, puta.
Swing by anytime.
Napa akong boost.
run.
Take this gift.
This used to be an uppercut. Then I grew as a person. Meanwhile, Bebop is still throwing uppercuts because he sucks.
Fall back.
Cooldown.
Now go out there and impose your will.
Wait, burst.
Fall back.
Gonna run? More.
Nakapunta boy. Dito ka. Ay, napapasok kita dito. Tanga ka ah.
Good luck completing the ritual.
Oh my god.
Impressive, Bebop.
Kari tayo dyan, bogrin natin. Ano ito bugok ang puta?
Such arcane mysteries I will show you.
I see beginnings.
Our Green Guardian has been defeated. Our Green Walker is under attack.
Stay ordered.
snuffing you out. They took out Bebop. I'm cool with it.
Yellow needs help. Headed to yellow.
Mid-boss has arrived. Our yellow guardian has been destroyed.
Ginagawa nila. Ayan. Mahabol tuloy si tanga.
Headed to Broadway.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Well, someone's looking to make a statement.
No one runs from me.
I see red.
Want a piece of the lash? The only thing they'll be able to do is watch him. I'm coming, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Fall back. I see warning.
Here comes the lash.
Oh my god.
Good work.
Headed to blue.
Our green walker is under attack.
I see armor.
Let's go.
I see Abrams.
Scarlet, you stop. Uy, he's back. For more. Oh, wow. Oh, it's not gonna stop. Tinibag ako ang putik. Mamaya ka sa akin, tangin.
Good luck not getting shot.
Our blue walker is under attack.
Let's push puck.
You wanna mess with the lash?
The urn has been delivered.
Dodge strike.
Thank you.
Natuto ka na naman sa tundo.
I see Abra.
No one's outlasting me. I can do this all day.
Our yellow water is under attack.
We're seeing what I can afford. I'll throw him around. I'm coming, baby.
Ay, nako. Hi. Nice.
Yamato's blade strikes true.
Headed to York.
You won't stop me.
Our yellow water is under attack. Be brave. Impressive, Bebop.
Having fun yet? I can do this all day. Let's go.
Our blue walker is under attack.
Mm-hmm.
Dropping in.
Nambosik lang eh. Oo, andito na siya.
Our purple guardian has been defeated.
Here's your chance to shake
Our
your
purple
destiny.
walker is under attack.
Let's dance, buddy. Took him down.
Time to move.
Start running. I'm about to show you why I'm the best.
Stay where you are.
Is under attack.
Let's push Broadway.
Try to run. You want to mess with me?
Let's push blue.
Your mind will be honed.
Ulit mo ah.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Ibag ka talino mo ka.
Our yellow walker has been defeated.
You're not gonna regret that.
Die straight.
Our blue walker is under attack. The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Tired of getting your ass kicked? Alright, I'm done playing with you. They took out Bebop. Oh, no surprise there.
Blue needs help. I see warden.
Our blue walker is under attack.
Maybe come back Shirlon.
I see someone appreciates fine craftsmanship.
I'm about to ruin your day. I'm about to ruin your day.
Is descending.
They got the rejuvenator. I'm about to show you why I'm the best. Winning isn't enough. You gotta do it with panache. You think you got the best of me? You wanna mess with me?
Going to drop.
I see right.
Abrams missing.
I'm gonna destroy them with this. You're outclassed.
Oh god, oh shit.
Green walker is under attack.
Kulang pala follow up. Akala ko andun lahat.
Giving them green for free, bro.
could do this all day.
Our purple walk.
Mark needs help.
4, 3, 2, 1.
But purple.
Yari ka sa akin ngayon.
Our purple walk has been destroyed.
Ano yan? Ay, yung pina-withdraw ko. Ay, thank you. Mine ka na?
Bebop continues to be support to the sack.
Headed to Greenwich.
The rejuvenator has expired.
Let's push Broadway.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
I see someone appreciates
Let's
fine
push blue.
craftsmanship.
Yellow walker. We'll take the blue later.
Lumilipad ba to? Gago, lumilipad.
The urn is ours.
Try to run. You give up whenever you want. You make a decent sidekick. Took out the gargoyle. Let's go. Tired of getting your ass. Outbound.
Green needs help.
Let's push yellow.
Nang ulti yun eh.
Slay them and grow strong.
Somebody come and help me on yellow.
Let's push Broadway.
Tell you what, I'll throw in a free kick.
Headed to York.
Thanks.
They should run.
You wanna mess with the lash? You're mine. You wanna mess with me?
Yamato's blade.
I'm getting out. I'm very low.
I'm coming, baby.
Pull back. Pull back. Headed to purple.
Here I come.
Fall back.
Mid-boss is alive.
Pull back.
They won't see me coming, but boy, will they know I've been there.
I see right.
Be blessed. Is ours.
The lash is ready for some retail therapy.
I see warning.
Here I come. Die strike.
I see guys.
I'm gonna go back.
Pull back.
Well, if it isn't the poster boy for the Celtics.
They're not even trying.
Pull back.
Hope you don't mind the pickup.
Oh my goodness. Sakit ng turret.
Try to run.
Gago. Ano yun?
Die strike. Here comes Flash. I'm about to ruin your day.
The Biners, Kevlar.
Pull back.
O Magic Carpet.
Pull back.
Hola, hola.
You won't stop me. You won't stop me.
Ayan na yung pukoy ng inang warden.
Let's push push blue.
Headed to Broadway.
They are just begging to get killed by me.
The walker.
Start running.
Claimed.
I see Wraith.
I'm coming, baby. Here's the grand finale.
I see McGinnis.
They only have one fight left.
Having fun yet?
Behold.
I see guys.
Tear the amber hand asunder.
Fall back!
They're not gonna know what hit them.
The Echo Shard. My personal favorite for when I'm looking to cause degenerate mayhem. My friend, survival is paramount.
Blue green. Bye.
Pull back.
That's 4 of them are on yellow.
Oh!
Pull back.
Spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
You wanna mess with me? taking you out.
Oh my god.
Let's go. Took out Hayes.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
I'm about to ruin your day.
Sayang.
Buying cars. Blood bitch.
Ben bulit.
I see paradox.
I can do this all day.
Fall back.
Try to run.
I see Warden.
Start running. Tired of getting your ass kicked?
Oh no. Bibenta ko.
Let's dance, buddy.
Be rewarded.
Leave the room.
Here's the grand finale.
The urn has been delivered.
You make a decent sidekick. Start running. Now leave.
Thank you for helping your allies, Lash.
Woman boss. Mid boss.
Let's go mid.
Here comes Flash. Ground pound.
Rejuvenator is descending.
come.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
You're outclassed.
He just instantly died.
Oh god, no. Oh no.
Nap time.
Oh my god. You thought you were making progress.
Death slams on cooldown.
Enemies have breached our stronghold.
You can give up whenever you want. Yamato. Try to run.
Oh my god.
Death brings consequence once more.
You wanna mess with the lash? You won't stop me. Only one person sucks out people's will to live. Looking at him.
I see warden.
Let's go!
Sana si best friend? Putang ina na. Bubugbugin din.
They never had a chance.
Such finesse, Hayes.
Need help? I'm going in.
Time has come to summon.
You don't got what it takes. Here I come. Keep it coming.
Ang kate, ang kate, ang kate. Tang inang tarit yan. Cancer. Ay, gago, mali.
Fall back!
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Intense, nahulog yung vape.
An excellent choice.
Mid-boss has arrived.
Curse dapat, no?
Weaker.
Ground pound! I took out the gargoyle. Here. Die. Let's dance, buddy. Coming, baby.
Teka lang, ititibag ko yung isa.
Took out Crow. I'm about to ruin your day. Tired of getting your ass kicked?
Impressive as always. Enemies have breached our stronghold.
GG. Guys.
Our covenant has been sealed in blood.
Oh no. Kaya mga kalaro ko, where are the people? Nakapag-view na sila. POE launcher. Hello everyone. When does it? Huh? Some reason lang. Huh? On all supported platforms, including standalone PC client. Hmm. Paano nakapag-view yung iba? Ooh, 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 ooh.
Method Man. I'm from wherever the fuck I said I'm from. Red Bull Spiral, let's get it. To be honest, if I ain't really vibing with a beat, it's like I'm trying to crack a smile knowing I'm lying through my teeth. But that don't make me alive if I decide to make believe. Cause if it's a sore pig, I'm just trying to make it bleed. Taking nothing for granted. Instead I'm taking a lead. Feel like I'm taking advantage. And y'all mistaken for G's. While y'all was making a sandwich, meth was making them lean. Like a Dr. Chef in his meth up. Cause they don't make them like these. Really misunderstanding them. If I'm hip, I can handle them. Dismantle them and tandem. Pick any random MC. I'm manic, depressive, managing shortness of breath and stammering, panicking. Hoping management help him manage to breathe. Method man again, be a man or a mannequin. That business that we standing on be the business you standing in. I brought the family a Grammy, go ask your mammy them. Who him? Can still talk the panties off for your Annie M? Just call me Big I throw a jab that'll split your cabbage, more sicker than your average, that's a big punch. A loud pack and a big blunt. A T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. I packed a big lunch. Shotgun, call them runner boys, the nunts. The shotgun got a drummer boy, put up. That's how I spit it, I give it, just how I get it. Forget it, you know we did it before you did it.
Yo, for the love of money, my whole block hungry. I'm in town, big women got the drop on me. Reggie Noble, Fabuloso clean. Chicks yelling on my GoPro, Daddy Logo! You damn right airtight how my click running. Nick Cannon on my lines, keep the stick drumming. Attitude a little radical. I got my skin tattooed, saying don't feed the animals. When your kids wildin', I'm to blame. The rap game don't birth a lot of lames. New rappers, they hero is Lil Wayne. But my hero, Billy Dance and Little Fame Knucker. I'm about my business. Dominoes, don't let me be at your doorstep. Dominoes, this rap industry, I don't understand them. East Coast radio, sound like a...
Don't touch me! Courage. Breathe.
Prepare for battle.
Turbo ba to?
Yes.
Bawas yung pera ko.
That one looks angry!
30 seconds to battle.
What if they get me? Why me? I don't know.
Mid ka, boss. Pwede naman.
What was that sound? Yeah, if you say so.
Enjoy yourself, but not too much, please.
There are trees everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Running! Are you sure about this? Attack! Back off! Do I have to? They can try to stop me. They can... Yes? Why me? No forest is safe from me. Running. Okay. Courage. Ah! Breathe. Oh. Yes. Yeah.
Nangyayari?
Keep your hands to yourself. Hey! Cut. Yes. Yeah. sure about this? What if they get me?
First blood. First blood. I've been wanting to say that since this all began.
Do I have to? Looking sharp. Oh! Oh, well, that was fun.
Your bottom tower is under attack.
Yes. What was that sound?
Ginagawa
What
nito?
if they get me? I only needed whipping.
Fuck, mate.
Courage. Do me. Do I have to? Yeah, boy. Running. Are you sure about this?
Your middle tower is under attack.
That's good. Ah, chop chop. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you say so. I don't know. Attack!
Oh no. Where's your last hit, boy?
Denied! That one looks angry! Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna cut you! Oh. What if they get me? Why me?
Anong nangyayari dito? What the fuck?
You're with the trees, aren't you? Are you sure about this? Spin, blade, spin! Yeah, I'll get you. Hey!
Run off.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, if you say so.
Oh no. Oh no.
No soaking over me.
The phantom strikes.
That one looks angry. Yeah, boy. What was that sound?
Your middle tower is under attack. Oh, do be careful.
It's over between us, Arachnia.
Away! I'll cut everyone.
Your middle tower is under attack. I hate to nag, but watch out.
I don't know. Courage.
Lambot wala akong third.
Yeah, yeah. Do me. Yeah, I'm gonna cut you.
Where are you going?
Warning you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yes.
I'll take that.
To me. You're with the trees, aren't you?
Ay na passive bill of Discord. Passive ba yan?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh no.
Your middle tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified. The enemy's bottom tower has fallen. Bravo!
I am completely safe.
Your
Assassin.
middle tower is under attack.
Are you sure about this?
Your middle tower is under attack. Your middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, boy. I'm under attack. Yoink. Ooh. Running.
Silence afflict thee.
Finally.
Gago.
Where are you going?
Lanes are alive with the likes of you.
Murder spree. Double kill.
Oh my god.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Pray. Wait up.
It is dangerous out there. Do I have to? Yes. Simple. You'll do me. Whoa. I'm not ready. Oh. That one looks angry. Sheeta's guard. Yeah, yeah. Attack! Are you sure about this? I don't know. What if they get me? They won't know what got I'd hack you down again. Gold! Yeah, boy. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Running.
Trouble's over.
Double kill. Murder spree. Triple homicide.
Do I have to? Saw blades, I'm under attack! Ow! Yeah, yeah. I'll get you. Ow! Yes. Yes.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen. Excellent.
What was that sound? Attack! Spin blade spins! What was that sound? Courage. Ow!
generation.
Breathe. Ooh.
Ba namatay? Layo mo eh.
Okay. Do I have to? Yoink. I don't know. Yeah.
Ano ba to? Ma-drop.
Your top tower is under attack.
I'll take that. He's foul.
Your top tower has fallen.
Go! Yes. Stay back. Ow! Whoa! What did they get me?
Murder spree. Dominating. Double
Where
kill.
are your precious trees now, Wukong? Spin, blade, spin!
Those people had family triple homicide.
Are you sure about this? Yeah, boy. Yes. What did they get me? Got everyone!
You should be impressed. Great teamwork, you vicious thugs.
My head.
Jesse Farsa.
Good. Are you sure about this? Away! Why me?
Silence all.
To me. Yeah.
Where are you going?
Ow!
Murder spree.
The enemy's top tower has fallen. The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Now that you're dead.
A sterling example of showmanship.
I don't know. Stay away! Oh. Do I
Yung pera,
have to?
bibilin ko. Kasi lang dalawang magic
Radiant structures are
panaytis.
fortified.
Running! Spin, blade, spin! Breathe. Gotcha! Running!
Ina kasi ayaw magsitabi.
Murder spree.
I don't know.
Murder spree.
Uwi na boss.
Are you sure about this? What did they get me?
Kaya niya pala. tinignan.
Gold! Yeah, yeah. Do me! Do I have to?
Rattle cage.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Actually, rattle cage.
I've got everyone! Breathe?
Paano ng item na yun? Cast range. Aether. Aether. Pwede. Kasi E-blade.
Okay, okay. I'm under attack! Yeah, boy. Courage. Hey! Yes. Look at me go! Yeah, if you say so.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Why me?
Ako. Kaya. Sanj.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch you.
That glove won't come off.
Everyone looks angry. What did they get me? Ow! Spin, cut, spin, blade, spin! Yoink.
Where are you going?
Uy, yung creeps natin.
What was that sound?
Crazy.
Do me!
The enemy's
Ay,
middle
gago,
tower
nakalabas
has
pa pala
fallen.
yung chakram ko.
Jolly good.
I don't know. Yes. Why me? Stay away from me! Ow! Are you sure?
Murder spree. Great teamwork, you vicious thugs.
Yes. Have to.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen. The enemy's middle barracks have
Oh
fallen.
no.
I'm under attack! Spin, blade, spin!
Uwi.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Yoink!
The enemy's bottom barracks have fallen. Radiant structures are fortified.
Do I have to?
Dire structures are fortified. The enemy's middle barracks have fallen. The enemy's middle tower has fallen. The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, yeah.
Silence all.
Dire victory!
Ba't screenshot? Naka BRB lang, nag-Dota na ako. Hindi tuloy nakita. Glorious Timber so hammer. Breed. Ano to? Huwag na. Actually, bounty hunter. Lapit na ata yan. Nasa temple na siya oh. Payutol na. Okay. I got my food. Check muna tayo. For the hype. Naiisip ng mga tao.
Fast. Yeah, shields are called focus now. They are. I'm not sure they have block on them. So I don't know if we're actually gonna use a They have increased block chance, but when I looked at the bases, they didn't seem like they had flat block on them. So it kind of depends if the in shields have block or not. Is whether or not I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna use a staff so I can cosplay as Gandalf, and I respect that. Okay, I respect that. We're gonna play Sorceress? Correct, we are gonna play Sorceress. Is there any other gear pieces we need to set up for? I guess we need to set up for belt, maybe. Check out the belt mods. I think we have everything else, though. Oh, belt and shield. We need to set up for shield, too. What will you do for stuns? You have to grab the ES passives, I think. Mana, charm duration, flash recovery. I don't think I care about any of these stats. I think I literally just care about mana. Mana and res. I don't care about any of the other stats, really. Does local ES even roll on belts? There appears to be no local ES on belts. So, get rid of percent. Well, maybe there's influence items. Maybe there's influence items. Plus the charm slot. I don't think I really care too much about charm slots that much. Yeah, I guess I could put it in there, but I think I care about generic stats first before charm slots. Do I think CI is the play eventually? Yep, I do. We are going to be going CI with this character eventually, but initially, we're not going to start out with that. Also, we might end up grabbing the reduced barrage speed pretty early on. If Ball Lightning ends up feeling pretty good, we're probably gonna swing over there and grab reduced barrage speed. Oh god, let there be an attribute scaling weapon. There might be. How do you scale mana with no maximum mana nodes in the tree? You get a lot of flat and you just have a lot less percent. There's more flat available in PoE2 than there is in PoE1, but there's way less percent available. Can you bind alt shift control blah, 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 with 8 how binds? Can you change? You can change your keybinds to whatever you want. That's up to you. I don't know what specifically you're asking about keybind wise, but I would just say swap it to whatever you're comfortable with. You have a pick of your tier list? Better. I have my tier list right.
2 other countries. Like, you should, like, no matter how dumb you are, you should be able to say Canada and Mexico. I refuse to believe that's not staged. No, I mean, I think it's like made in a way to make it like, I mean, there are going to be dumb people in every country, but I wish that the dumbest people in every country was not that dumb. Like, I'm able to do every 50th state in America. Like, I was able to do all 50 states. I'm not even American. Do it, pussy. Alright, fuck all y'all. I don't know if I can do all 50 now. I haven't practiced for a while. Fuck it. Alright, let me hide chat then. Let me hide chat then. Oh my god. Now it's gonna be embarrassing. Now I've talked so much shit. Okay, what are the ones I usually, like, forget? Okay, whatever. Oregon, Ohio, Washington, Texas, California, Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Florida, Wyoming. One sec. What's this? Oh, I'm not showing screen. Sorry. I have a This Mist channel where mods can message me things. Kansas, Arkansas, Utah, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Mississippi, Massachusetts, Wyoming, no, Montana. There's 4 I's: Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Idaho. Oh, I got the 4 I's. North Dakota, South Dakota, North Carolina, South Carolina, Colorado, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Vermont, Minnesota, no, I did that right. New Hampshire, Kentucky, trying to think, what am I missing? Montana, I have. Wyoming. Oregon, no. Denver?
Existence
No,
is a thing of beauty.
Alabama. Louisiana. Man, I'm so out of, I'm so rusty. West Virginia, Virginia. There's one on R. Oklahoma. I did Georgia, yeah. Maine. The problem is that these 4 are so easy, but I don't remember them right now. Where others am I missing? Oh, New York. That's funny.
Hey, you were.
What's this?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm just checking out some games.
I had some like rules to remember some that I don't remember. Like I'm supposed to remember Kentucky because of this. So now that it went the other way around, I don't remember it. And these are called the Canadian states, and I don't remember this right now.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Study here. I'm recording this video right before the start of
I just can't get the last ones. I'm so Roblox. I actually have to give up and admit defeat. Alright, let's see what I missed then. Hi chat. Wisconsin, Michigan. Oh no, Delaware and Maryland. I don't know. I missed way too much.
Path of Exile 2 early access. So I didn't play the game yet, I didn't play any demos. A lot of mechanics, I'm not sure exactly how they will be working. We had some data mining from the clients, so we have access to passive skill tree and skill gems, but we can't really make a proper educated guesses on the like what exactly will work or what not. So this video is not really a build guide. I'm just wanted to share what I personally will try to leak start with in Path to Exile 2 early access. So yeah, disclaimer, this might not work as expected, but hopefully it will. The build idea is to play Shockwave Totem on a Warrior class Warbringer Ascendancy, and also self-attack Earthquake every now and then, so that our Shockwave Totems will be able to explode the jagged ground spawned from Earthquake many times over. So I had some other build ideas about many other different melee totems with Ancestral Warrior. There is Ballistae totems, there is Dark Effigy, but I wanted to start with this specifically, Shockwave plus Earthquake, because this interaction was actually showcased in the official Path to Exile 2 endgame content reveal video right here. Let's watch it. So yeah, this warrior spawns Shockwave Totem right there, and he uses Earthquake Slam. So after slamming, he also creates Jagged Ground from Earthquake. And right after that, we can see that Shockwave Totem explodes, and it makes an aftershock from the Earthquake's Jagged Ground right here. And Jagged Ground doesn't disappear, it still persists. So we're waiting for this totem to explode again with a slam. It's about to do this. I slowed down the video, of course. So it explodes again, and it explodes the Jagged Ground from Earthquake one more time. And after that, Totem already will not attack. The Earthquake explodes naturally, a Jagged Ground disappears, and then Totem explodes again. But it's already kind of irrelevant. So yeah, I think there's biggest chances that this will actually work. Some other wild ideas with melee totems, like for example doing Earth Shadow Totem and self-cast Warcry all the time to explode the spikes. That was like really interesting idea. Or go in Sunder Totems and constantly break enemies' armor and like guarantee crit with Sunder. But this requires more investment into accuracy and crit, so I thought it's not really good on the start of the league. So this is what I'm thinking about going with. And yeah, so here's the skill. The main skill is Shockwave Totem, or actually it's two skill combo basically, right? Shockwave and Earthquake. So this one spawns the totem. Totem lasts 12 seconds. Initial limit is 1 totem. The initial attack time is 3 seconds, but with quad.
Hello, this is One Mana Left, and it is the night before the league. We just got the downloadable patch. POE has been adding stuff to the game. People will scurry to put this in all their planners and whatnot. I'm just using the regular POE site right now. But I'm going to show you my build plan for Hammer of the God Ignite. I made a video on this Sunday going over basically the concept of the build. And we got a little more info. Today I'm going to go through a few updates to that. Some of the info we've got. And then I'm going to go through my plan to level it because, you know, in the night before a league, that's kind of what people want. Disclaimer. The game is brand new. It's early access to beta. This isn't the POE 1 campaign where people know exactly everything. So everything in this video is like assumptions. But that's really the best anyone has right now. So obviously, if you watch this video in like 3 years, you're going to be like, what a dumbass. Yeah, that's the point. But we're all dumbasses on this glorious day. So I'm going to try to be the one-eyed man in the land of the blind and tell you, hopefully, halfway correct what to do. So, let's just start with the fun stuff. What's Hammer of the Gods hopefully look like? Well, hopefully it looks like this.
Nice. That's like, you know, from Sophia game.
Yeah. There it is. You call down a hammer from the sky, and it does good things. There you go. It's a glorious skill. It's a big cooldown skill. It's a 24-second cooldown, but there's ways to get that down. There's CDR in the tree. There's CDR in jewels. There's CDR in quality. But the skill does a good amount of damage. And if you can get your gem levels pretty high, it can do even better damage. And you can get your gem levels to 40. Because, you know, you can dual wield two-handers with Titan's Grip, also known as Golem's Blood. But, yeah. I went over some of the mechanics and the goals on how to scale Ignite into stupid numbers. But I'm not going to talk about that as much in this video. I'm going to maybe update a little bit of info and focus then on leveling. But just to, like, speed run the concept, Hammer of the Gods Ignite would be a long cooldown skill with Hammer of the Gods. And then to abuse the damage from that long cooldown is there is no ailment penalty, which in PoE 1, all the big hitting skills have an ailment penalty. In PoE 2, that doesn't seem to be the case. They've rebalanced Ignite. It's mainly based off just the hit damage up front. There's not a lot of the bullshit that like weakens Ignite because you scaled the hit but not the ailment. That's kind of gone. So the skill hits really hard, has a cooldown. We're going to try to get it to Ignite, convert it to fire in the end game, and then do a really, really, really big scaled Ignite from that hit. So effectively, instead of just hitting for thousands of percent weapon damage one time, the goal will be that we're hitting for thousands of percent weapon damage and then getting an Ignite on the target that's doing that much damage like 1 to 2 times per second for like 10 to 15 seconds. With the objective being to use this skill to one-shot bosses. And then have clear skills like, I'm going to go with Stampede for now, but there's a lot of testing to do in order to clear trash faster. So the goal there is basically to, you know, just have a weak-ish skill that has really good coverage in AoE and movement for clearing trash. Have maybe a medium skill like either Sunder or maybe Supercharged Slam. I took out Supercharged Slam for like, you know, in between rares, some stubborn magic monsters maybe, or like a low HP boss. And then when you get to a big rare or a boss, to Hammer the Gods to kill it. So, I'm going to go through basically my leveling path. Start off, you're going to pick a warrior. I know it says Marauder, don't worry too much. I'm going to start off, and I'm actually going to take my first 2 points in Act 1 as plus 20 armor twice. That sounds really dumb, but 20 armor is terrible in the end game. But 20 armor when you're level 3 is like fizz damage immunity. So I'm actually going to start off taking these 2 points first, and I'm going to unspec them later with gold. But I'm going to come through here. I'm going to get some damage. You kind of want damage on the softcore campaign. That's fine. I'm going to path down here. And initially, I probably am going to take the block right away. I'm going to probably try to take a shield and a one-hander. Get this block. And then come over here. And I'm going to take all the way up to Impair and Wreathing as the one-hander nodes. I'm not going to take these two-hander nodes to start. I'm going to take these one-hander nodes. Shield one-hander. I'm going to start taking some Warcry stuff as soon as I can get Infernal Cry. Infernal Cry is going to be pretty good. These are just generically good AoE damage. I'll probably take those right away. Vigilance is insane defense. I'm probably going to rush this quickly. It's good block chance, especially if you can pick up a shield that has % blocks as a prefix, which we've seen in PoEDB in the data mine. So shields, and we saw this in like the beta testing, or in the like playthrough testing. Shields can get like 40 plus block inherently. The % block on these nodes is a multiplier on that, so it's not 12 flat block. It would be 20 would become, or 40 would become like 45 with 12% increase. But 6 life on block is really good when you're low level. This will trail off a little bit when you're higher level, but it's still good block chance. I'm going to keep coming down here. These are really good nodes for like reduced attack speed, but really big damage. That's really good for, you know, something like Hammer of the Gods. I'm going to try, after I get Infernal Cry, to come down here, and it's not highlighting right now because the website's really slow. Everyone's trying to use this right now, but this node right here, if it loads, says Warcries empower an additional attack. The whole website's frozen right now, but does it update? No, it's not going to. The website's barely functional right now. Pretty much everything's that way right now. The main PoE websites are barely functional right now. Zoom in, I can't. The website's frozen right now. But I'll go through on this planner, hopefully while the website unfreezes. There it is. Warcries empower an additional attack. The idea is pick up Infernal Cry. It's going to give you added fire damage. That's pretty good. We don't need that right now because the basic playthrough to start is going to be just fizz damage. Probably Stampede will be the clear skill. Stampede is nice because it has baked-in movement speed. I'm actually going to probably take Momentum first because it's 40% more damage. And probably faster attacks. It's the only skill that's actually going to scale with attack speed is just your clear skill. Because, like, Hammer obviously doesn't. And then Stomping Ground is also good. It gives a Shockwave when you take a step forward, so Stampede's a movement skill. In PoE 2, they've changed support gems because you cannot use the same support gem twice. So if you're going to be playing a playstyle where you have multiple skills that do damage, you don't want to use basically similar skills a bunch of times because then they can't benefit from the same support gems multiple times. So it's actually really beneficial to have like a clear skill that uses different support gems than like your main skill. And in this case, Stampede being a baked-in movement skill is really nice because you can use Momentum, Stomping Ground. I could add an Area of Effect. I'll try to link this, but there's going to be a bunch of better ones coming out. So I'll probably change what the skill planner is later. By the time you see this, there might be a better functional skill planner that I'll then link in the description instead. So maybe I don't need to link this. We'll see. But I've got these gems here linked basically in the priority of when I would want to add them. So like Momentum, Faster Attacks, and then Stomping Ground, which is probably the first 4 I would link to this. Hammer, I would probably go Fist of War and Melee Fizz. They're pretty similar power. Second Wind is probably pretty nice early on because it's just going to give you another use. You'll get it less often, but that might feel smoother. Pulverize is also really good. Maybe Pulverize is better than Second Wind. There's a little TBD in all these. This isn't like a PoE 1 guide where everything is like scienced out and it's like, no, this is the third best support. This is the... No. It's roughly this order, but it might depend, like, you know, when you grab it or when it becomes available, or just which one feels better. But Infernal Cry, I'm going to have Empowered Damage, which makes the empowered skills deal for 20% more damage. So that's like an additional link. Calling Strike on Empowered Call is pretty good. Enraged Warcry, if you get Rage Generation, we won't have a 5 link early on. It could be 30% more damage. There's a couple skills that give Rage. Like when you're hit, like up here, you can get a crazy amount. Oh, I can't. This site is so... I can't... The site is unusable right now. There's Rage when you get hit here. There's Rage when you get hit here. Stun Threshold, Armor when you get Rage, all that stuff. But this is one of the best initial wheels to get, is like some of the reduced attack speed with increased damage. Like 50% increased damage and 5 less attack speed is obviously really good for Hammer. But eventually I'm going to make my way down and try to get Giant's Blood, because I want to switch to using a two-hander with a shield. They've nerfed Giant's Blood now. It's now triple attribute requirement. To help get this, after I get Giant's Blood, or, you know, before I get Giant's Blood, around the same time, I might be doing some respec. You know, I'll unspec my 2 armor points here when I'm ready for this. And then I'll pick up Beef, ironically. Beefy characters. 33 strength should really help fulfill strength requirements. There's more strength here with Rage on hit. Max Rage. This is maybe when you get the Empowered Rage Warcry for later, so you don't need to spec this right away. But Beef is good when you're going to go Giant's Blood. And then there's a bunch of strength here that lowers your mana but gives you a ton of strength. And then damage per strength. So between Brute Strength and Beef, you should be able to get your early strength satisfied for Giant's Blood and then pick up a two-hander and a shield. And then, you know, between your block nodes here and here, if you get a shield that has the prefix increased block chance, you're going to have like 60 block right away at low level. And that's going to be really powerful. I would probably start to get toward the two-hand nodes next. They're pretty good. I think your first ascendancy you're going to take is Earthbreaker for 20% Aftershock, because Aftershocks deal 100% of the damage of the skill, so this is like 20% more damage. Pretty good. Later on, I think the play is to, when you get your 4th ascendancy point, unspec Earthbreaker, and then just leapfrog Colossal Capacity into Hulking Form. Hulking Form is one of the best passives on the entire tree of any class. It's 50% increased effect of small passives, so that's just really good. It kind of balances the fact that Colossal Capacity doesn't give any power, so it's worth all 4 points to get Hulking Form. It randomly disables because the site is barely functional right now once again, so I can't see it right now, but Hulking Form is insane. And then 6th point, I would just go back into Earthbreaker maybe. And then probably Lineage. I know I talked about going maybe Aegis, but they've nerfed Aegis. Aegis is gone, so no more Aegis. Maybe Super Endgame, I go Hybrid ES with Zealot's Oath, because I will get a ton of regen in the endgame for... they've basically added Juggernaut Untiring. In the original tree they showed, it was a 0.5% per second. But instead, it got added on the tree 3 times more powerful than that. It's absolutely insane. The suspense is killing me for when this tree is going to load, but made to last is insane if you get a decent amount of armor. 15% of fizz damage prevented is recouped as life. So that's over 8 seconds. That 15% is the same number as Untiring. This also in PoE 1, and I think it will therefore work the same in PoE 2, works on blocked hits too. So if you get to like 90 fizz damage reduction, you automatically are recouping more than the damage you take. It's already a net positive. But it works on blocked hits as well. Block also works on spells in PoE 2. Life regen rate directly multiplies that. And then heavy armor should be pretty good. But yeah, you're going to get some armor early on, and you're going to get effectively the Juggernaut Untiring node over 8 seconds instead of 10. So even better. And I think this is just basically going to solve your life regen. As long as you can just get like 75 res by the time you get later in the campaign, and you can like hopefully be as a, you know, melee class with plate gear and some armor on the tree investment, you should hopefully be able to get to like 80-90% fizz damage reduction. And then, yeah, this should pretty much make you full recoup all the damage you take. And with, you know, 60 plus block, even with elemental damage in there, you should actually out-regen just from this node. So, yeah, eventually you'll get to a point where you're starting to get higher level, like 40, 50, 55, 60. You'll start to eyeball swapping to fire. When you're pretty much having all these points filled out, I would also probably get Resolute Technique early on, but I don't know how easy accuracy is to get. There's a trick you can do here with having a aura that has precision, clarity, and vitality. This gives you like 30% accuracy, and I don't know how that scales at gem level. It's a support. Let's see if they have it in PoEDB yet. Precision. No, it's just 30%. Okay, it might not scale. It is a support, I guess, technically. Yeah, so it doesn't scale. But if accuracy is impossible to get, Resolute Technique's to play. If accuracy is super free to cap, then don't go Resolute Technique. Later on, you'll grab Unnatural Resilience and Heat Proofing, but that's like a little, like, level 70 plus. That's probably when you get to mapping and have res cap. Early on, you want to take that. But eventually get to a point where you're kind of out of points because you have all these filled. And you're going to go for the Ignite swap. So you're going to grab Avatar Fire. You're probably immediately going to grab these nodes for Magnitude of Ailment, 30 Magnitude of Ailment with 20 Duration. There's nodes up here for damage to burning enemies, chance to ignite, Fizz's extra fire. There's over here automatically all these points, Magnitude, Pen, Magnitude, damage to burning, Pen. I don't think you take that, maybe. But around the time you're going to be ready for your Avatar Fire swap, you could drop some of the, like, generic nodes here, maybe. They're a little bit weaker. But, you know, this is, what, probably like 80, 90 points. 85. Perfect, right in the middle. This is around when you're getting into white maps. But around this time, you should be able to make the fire pivot. and actually be getting decent ignite chance. It doesn't show here in the planner, but I have Herald of Ash here.
What the
They
fuck?
have nerfed this to not give Fizz's extra fire.
Spellium branch.
So if I look up Herald of Ash, it no longer gives the extra fire. So instead, I think I'm going to take a gem called... hang on. Overwhelming Presence around the time when I go for the swap, which would be... You can take Herald of Ash first, because the overkill when you're like just all hit damage is fine. And then when you start to pivot into Ignite, I would switch to Overwhelming Presence, because then you aren't overkilling, you're killing things with Ignite, so Herald of Ash doesn't do anything. But then Overwhelming Presence basically lowers the ailment threshold of everything around you. That's really good. Up to, 29%. You really don't want to ever be at a point where you're pivoting to Ignite and your Hammer of the Gods can miss the Ignite. So lowering the ailment threshold is really insane. Especially because you can, in your skill planner here, replace the Herald of Ash with that and then link Precision, Clarity, Vitality, since it's only a 30 reserve. And those give multipliers to the cost, so you want to link those to a 30. But yeah, about that time, when you have all the Ignite effect, you can start to... I don't know from here if you're going to try to go all the way to Immolate. Probably. Immolate is really strong. It's a lot of travel, but there's these Jewel passives that are insane because Jewels are really powerful. But around that time, you probably go all the way to more Ignite chance. And remember, by the time that you get to these, you'll have Hulking Form that will make these 22 Ignite chance each. And then pick that up. I don't think you'll go Fireproof. It's probably too lame. But this is around the time you're like, level 70, 75 getting into maps. By the time you have this much fire investment, I would think you are pretty good for being full on Ignite. I'd probably by that point start to go into like the max fire res and heat proofing. This will pretty much make you immune to fire damage. That's even more significant because Made to Last basically cancels all damage taken once you get enough mitigation. And obviously if you're taking all Fizz damage and you have like 80-90 PDR, this makes you invincible. But if you start to sprinkle in Ellie damage, that's not the case anymore. But between block and like removing fire damage from the game, I do think you'll be at a point where you'll still just like out regen all incoming damage just with this alone. We're at a point right now where all of this in POEDB is getting put into all the planners that existed that had all these missing points. So those will be getting updated in the coming hours. So I think there's probably going to be a lot of iterations of me redoing this in the coming days. So just stay tuned. As I level and see these things directly and show my progress directly, we'll have real planners. Things will become clear. I'll keep linking updated setups. But this is my leveling plan, my leveling path. It's basically start off Fizz, be pure Fizz, get a little bit more Warcry scaling in AoE, just get generic damage, try to get block pushed to like 50, 60 plus, maybe all the way to 75. Start to get as much armor and Made to Last as possible, and then around level 50 to 60, make the pivot to Ignite with Avatar Fire, and then immediately Lasting Trauma, then maybe Fulmination, then maybe all the way up to Immolate and Burning Strikes. Those 4 nodes are probably enough to get you a full Ignite pivot. There's a node called Burn Away that you could go to, and then there's a node clear up here called Slow Burn somewhere. That isn't really a reasonable path to, but maybe by the time you're like trading and like in like mid-tier maps, maybe you can anoint this, and this is insane. But I'm going to be filling in a lot. We're all chickens with our head cut off. We don't know what's going on. But this is kind of the early crack at leveling into like maybe a white map or late campaign transition into full Ignite. But I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you updated. I'll try to link as much useful information as possible. And I'm also going to be having this video linked with Mobalytics, who I'm going to be putting guides for and linking this with them. They will have a planner that I can use then and have all this guide information in as well. And that planner is significantly better looking than this one. So that'll be coming out right before-ish the league goes live. So I'll keep you updated on that, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hi, Scissorin here with a video for Path of Exile 2, and this is a video you should ideally watch before you play, and I'm aiming this at players that are very new or maybe very old returning POE 1 players that are unfamiliar with the game. So it's just going to be some generic tips. I haven't had any like crazy early access or have anything big to reveal or anything like that. This is just going to be super basic tips that I think might really trip some people up if they don't know them. So we're going to start off with a very important one. You cannot respec your ascendancy in Path of Exile 2. That means that you cannot go from Titan to Warbringer. Like you can't switch between Deadeye and Pathfinder, for example. And I think that's quite an important one because every time I say it, people in chat are like, you can't what? And I actually myself had missed this for a while. Now, we are assuming they will be able to respec your ascendancy points. So let's say you take the extra bag space early on the Titan, you might be able to, you will likely be able to spec out of that for gold, but you will not be able to change to Warbringer. Now, this is something they might change, but that means that obviously your class is a permanent choice and your ascendancy. And for those that aren't familiar with what an ascendancy is at all, this is like a subclass. So eventually every class will have 3 subclasses each, and we're all starting with 2. So yeah. So right now, for example, if you go the warrior, you can ascend as a warbringer or a titan, and obviously your class is a permanent choice and your ascendancy is a permanent choice. So make sure you really keen on playing this thing, or you will have to make a new character later. Now, that being said, you can respec your skill tree and stuff like that, and for those that are maybe familiar with Orb of Regret, those are gone from the game, so that means that you will need to use gold to respec. So you really want to make sure that you have enough for the entire respec. Getting stuck halfway through could cause some issues. And you cannot trade gold with other players. Now, one thing Path of Exile 2 didn't make super clear is that skill gems can still be used on every character. There will be a like unlock all button in like the bottom left or something, it looked like in the videos. But for example, like it's not only ranger that can have bow skills, right? You can use a gun on a warrior, you can use a gun on the sorceress, like they are not character locked. Now, there are some skills that you get from your ascension, but outside of those, you can use everything on anything. Now, in POE 2, your weapon swap plays a lot more of an impactful role. So, for example, let's say you're a sorceress, you will be able to have fire skills and cold skills, and then you might have a fire weapon and a cold weapon.
Oh no, server's lagging.
And in the menu, don't fully know what they landed on and how that looks once we actually get to play, but you will basically be able to press that, like, let's say you have fireball and lightning something, like ball lightning, right? You have fireball and you have ball lightning, right? You will be able to set that with your fireball, you're using your fire staff, and for your chain ball lightning, it swaps to your lightning staff. And this will be done automatically for you with a short delay. But this is very important. Like, for example, for me, I will probably be using shield quite a lot and blocking while having totems down. And then I will have like my big nuke abilities by using a two-hander because I'm playing a warrior, right? So I'm going to definitely leaning towards using shield and one-hander on one setup and two-hander on another, or maybe two two-handers. We'll see what we do with that. And another big thing about gems is in Path of Exile 1, you could have 3 spell echoes, right? You could have, or 3 life taps. You could have a life tap on one setup and on your main skill and somewhere else. Well, in Path of Exile 2, you can only use 1 support gem 1 time. So if you're using added fire on your ball lightning, added lightning on your ball lightning, you get the idea. You can only have 1 added lightning. You can't have 2 added lightning, even if it's on a different skill gem, unless you are the Gemling Legionnaire. That can use 2. Another thing that's very important as well is that the difference between more and increased on a different skill gem, unless you are lightning. Lightning, one setup and on your main skill and somewhere else. Well, in Path of Exile 2, you can only use 1 support gem 1 time. So if you're using added fire on your ball lightning, added lightning on your ball lightning, you get the idea. You can only have 1 added lightning. You can't have 2 added lightning, even if it's on a different skill gem, unless you are the Gemling Legionnaire. That can use 2. Another thing that's very important as well is that the difference between more and increased is extremely important in Path of Exile. In other games, you might have heard damage buckets and stuff like that. And the way this works is that more is a multiplier and increased is additive with itself. So let's say that you got 20 more, 20 more, and 20 more. That would be 20 multiplied by 20 multiplied by 20. Whereas if you got 20 increased, 20 increased, 20 increased, that would total to 60. So that will be part of a multiplier somewhere, but obviously 20 times 20 times 20 is a lot stronger. So that's a rough idea. Either way, more is better. Now, that being said, there are some cases where increased ends up, at least in POE 1, working as a more multiplier, and generally where we've seen that is enemies take increased damage. Now, many of those would be additive with itself, but to give a quick idea of why this is a distinction is that, let's say you get 100% increased damage, you then getting monsters take 20% increased damage would be multiplicative with that. So that's like a few different damage buckets there, just to give you an idea of what to look out for. But I do get that this is a little bit more advanced. But again, if all you remember is more is better, you're doing pretty good already. Now, in Path of Exile 2, side bosses can give permanent upgrades. We've seen in the trailers that people have killed a boss and they get like 6 cold rest permanently or +5 spirit permanently. So I would make sure that you are actually going back and killing every single side boss. This is going to be particularly important because the game looks really hard, so over-leveling will be very good. And speaking about over-leveling, I do want to show off this one feature. I can show this in Path of Exile 1, and it is quite important. And that is control click to reset a zone. So sometimes you will feel that you are way weaker than you should be, and if you hold control down while entering a zone or walking into a door or anything like that, it will let you restart that zone. So the benefit of this is then I could farm that same zone 3 or 4 times, maybe more if it's like maybe you find a really nice zone with like a lot of monsters, and this will allow you to get more items, allow you to get more experience, etc. So keep that in mind, that control clicking is very important. A new thing in Path of Exile 2 is that we have runes that will give you resists and stuff like that, and later on we have more advanced soul cores. Now, without going into specifics of how they work, like they'll have like things like nice easy things like resists, right? I do feel that it's very important to share with you that these cannot be overwritten and not be removed. This is something I'm expecting to be changed because one of the things they really wanted to push on was that when you find an upgrade in PoE 2, you don't have to worry about sockets and jewelers, you can just put on the gear, but the runes does change that a little bit. So I am expecting to see that change, but probably not changed for launch. Now, how does critical strike chance work in Path of Exile? So sometimes, even in PoE 1, you might have seen that you have an item that is 100% increased critical strike chance. Does that mean that you now have 100% critical strike chance? No. So it works off the base crit. So weapons will have a base crit themselves, and also spells usually have a base crit built into the spell. Now, let's say something has 7 as a base crit, right? And you get 100% increased critical strike chance, you have now 14. But if you have a base critical strike chance of 15, and you get the same 100% increased critical strike chance, you now have 30 critical strike. Now, they have said that in PoE 2, it should be a lot harder to get 100%. So it is very likely that we will get something like 50 to 70% crit on a crit build, and maybe we'll have some sort of ability or utility thing that'll push us to 100% temporarily, but I would not expect that your crit builds will be at 100%. And another thing that is a basic feature in Path of Exile but still very important is resistances. So resistances are very, very simple. With if you have 75 fire resist and you're about to take 100 damage from fire, then you would take 25. Keep that in mind that the game sort of does expect you very early on to get at least 50-60% fire, cold, and lightning resist. We are just assuming this from how POE 1 was, but there's really no reason to assume it'll be different. And obviously I have played like 4 hours of the playtest. That was 8 months ago. We were dying a lot, so resist probably would have helped. Now, a big difference between that playthrough is they have supposedly made it a lot easier because we find more gear and stuff like that now. Now, speaking of gear, you will probably want to store your gear and store your currency. So what stash tabs should you buy? You'll probably see a lot of videos suggesting exactly what stash tabs to buy. And I want to be a little bit careful with that because we don't know how mandatory things like, well, div card stash tab won't be necessary at all instantly. Map tab might not even work. They might have a new one for the map related stuff. So the one that I would suggest that you buy is you will need a currency stash tab, 1 or 2 premium stash tabs, or a quad tab. That's all you really need, which I think will be like $12 on a sale. And obviously it's $30 to get the key, and that comes with 300 points. So all these stash tabs I'm suggesting, you already have enough for them just by the buying the access key. That's pretty much all you need to get started. The reason that you want a premium stash tab or a quad stash tab is that's how it makes it easy to sell through the Path of Exile website. So keep that in mind, and it's definitely not a game you need to spend a lot of money on. Once you have like $30 to $60, that's probably all the stash tabs you'll ever need. Now, I do want to end the video with talking a little bit about items in Path of Exile and also some of the basic currencies. So I'm going to use the Path of Exile 1 item because they are able to teach you some of the basics. So if I hold Alt down on the item, and I'm assuming we'll have Alt functionality in Path of Exile 2, you'll see that we have prefixes and suffixes. So a blue item, and again, same for POE 2, a blue item can have 1 prefix and 2 suffix, and a rare item can have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. Prefix just means what comes before the name, and suffix is what comes after. And then generally, there is something like a item level. I don't want to go into too advanced stuff and overload people, because a lot of this is already going to be a lot for people, but what item level basically means is that let's say early on in the game, you might only be able to find 7 to 11 fire resistance, but later on at like level 50 or 60, you might be able to find 42 to 45 fire resistance. And we do know that it works similar in POE 2, so keep that in mind. And yeah, as I said, prefixes, suffixes, very, very important that you try to upgrade your gear during the campaign. They've said that you are going to find a lot of orbs through the campaign, especially if you are playing a weapon-based class, like you're using your bow to attack, or your crossbow to attack, or your axe to attack. These are so much more important than for a spellcaster. It will still be important for a spellcaster. On a weapon class, you will just notice such a power spike. So I'm going to go over some of them here that I think are important to cover. Some of these will be too advanced, and I'm not going to cover everything because they're more endgame things. But yeah, so armor scraps and blacksmith whetstones. Early on, like let's say you find a blacksmith whetstone at level 7, you will use 1 to get 20%. But around like level 40, you'll maybe get 3% quality per. And this is pretty straightforward now. 1% quality is 1% more damage. So once you get the weapon to 20%, that is 20% more damage. Chaos Orb, this always in POE 1 ended up being the bread and butter of like smaller trades. Now, economy wise, we don't know what is going to be used the most, but this basically will remove 1 stat and add 1 stat. So the way this will be used is when you have an item that's like, man, this is really good, but it is missing 1 stat. Then we would be using this. Like as an example, on a physical based axe, you would be looking for flat physical damage and percentage physical damage. These sort of multiply each other and are really good. And for some builds, you might want attack speed as well. But let's say that you find an axe with really high attack speed, really high percentage physical damage, but then you have like 13 to 25 fire damage. Well, then you might want to use the Chaos Orb, hope that it removes the fire damage and adds another physical mod on there. So just a quick description of how you would use the Chaos Orb. Divine Orb, we don't know how important this is going to be. in PoE 2. Essences are worth covering as well, and there are 2 different essences, which are very important. So we have this one, which is upgrades a normal item to a magic item with 1 speed modifier. So you would find a boot base, for example, and then you could use this on it, and if there's no other speed modifier on it, it'll just guarantee movement speed. And then we do have other essences further down that actually will go and take this from a blue item to a rare, but with a guaranteed mod. So that is a little bit different than how essences work in Path of Exile 1, but this is a little bit of deterministic crafting. Now, a big change from Path of Exile 1 is that in PoE 1, you'd craft on the same item. You would find a base, craft on that same item, and yeah, that would be how that worked. But in PoE 2, you're going to be finding multiple bases and almost starting from scratch on each item. There won't be that much chaos spamming, I think, on the same item. Maybe later, but we'll see how that ends up being. Exalted Orb, these are going to be a lot more plentiful. I believe ZGD said he found 7 in Act 1. So you are going to be a little bit more less frugal with how you're using these, and actually what we call slamming your item. You slam an Exalted Orb into it. So PoE 1, people will need to rewire their brains a little bit here. But yeah, we will be using Exalted Orbs. And again, you should not be scared of using these orbs. I'm assuming Mirror of Kalandra is still in PoE 2. That is probably the only one they shouldn't just throw into something. Oh, and here we can see the greater essences. Upgrade a magic item to a rare with 1 cold modifier. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so here we have some of the basic ones. We have Transmute, which upgrades a normal item to a magic item with 1 modifier. Then you have an Augment. So you would either start with a Transmute or an Essence. Then you would augment the item, and that will add whatever's missing. So if the Transmute adds a prefix, the Augment would add a suffix, or vice versa. And then you have either a Regal or the Greater Essence for the next step, and then you finalize with throwing some Exalted Orbs on it. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that it helps you for launch. I just wanted to make like some tips and tricks, and I really wanted to make sure people know that Ascendancies are not
So this is exciting. I am talking now with Jung, who is one of the best racers, or 3rd best, or 10th best racers in Path of Exile. So what he does at the start of a new season is theory crafts a build with his PhD brain. We'll find an Ascendancy, some uniques they want to use, what's the league mechanic look like, and then smashes through and pushes through and like gets the final bosses, beats the hardest content, whatever the race, you know, criteria is, and beats everybody. I think that that's so cool because it's like you're playing Path of Exile on another level from the average person even watching this video.
The glaze is crazy, dude. It's out of control. I also dropped out of my PhD, so there's that.
Yeah, but the brain is still there. We actually met at one of the Path of Exile events, which is really cool. One of the first play tests for the game, we got to play the game together, and then we got to hang out, and he's a good dude. And I told him, I want to use your brain to find out the best classes in PoE 2, because I'm not the biggest theory crafting guy. I'm not a big mathematician. So I wanted to ask you a few questions that I think would help out me, but also the community. Because now that the Ascendancies have dropped, I actually changed my mind on what I want to play. I first wanted to go Infernalist, and I actually might be changing it because it seems a little scary to me and maybe hard to min-max unless we've got specific uniques. I'm a little worried about Infernalist, and I was almost sold that was what I'm going to do. But I wanted to ask you a couple different things. So, number 1, if you look through all the different Ascendancies, which one, or maybe which 2, stand out as the best potential for the average new player who hardly played PoE 1 or never even played, they're just jumping into the game? What one would you choose?
I think there's quite a bit of unanimity here in terms of the Stormweaver is looking like the safest bet. I think a lot of people have seen the Archmage support, which scales your damage off of mana.
Right.
That's sort of the upside. So if mana sustain is really good, I think a lot of people will gravitate towards Stormweaver and play an Archmage setup. But even in the worst case scenario, if you remember from the playtest, I think mana was pretty hard to manage, right? Like kept running out.
Yeah, we had no mana. We didn't have flasks because they were only coming back from killing like rare mobs, so it was very frustrating in the early game. But we don't know if that fully changed, right?
Yeah, I think the mana is still looking like quite difficult to do, and Stormweaver gives you a lot of sustain. And then as a baseline ascendancy, it has the most generic modifiers. So it's like Shock, for instance, is just a modifier to how much a monster takes in terms of the damage. It doesn't matter whether they're taking lightning damage or not, right? So having, for example, Shock scaling is going to benefit any sort of build.
Right.
And then things like Exposure is going to benefit any sort of elemental build. So if you think about it, generic modifiers on a build archetype that is using spell casting, which is always really safe. You don't need to be in melee. You know, it's a very well tested archetype through every sort of game style that we've ever played.
Right.
I think that's by far the safest, easiest to understand. The scaling is the most linear, and honestly, it might just be the strongest point blank.
Really? And so I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, it seems okay. Like the mana for Arcane Surge is kind of interesting. Even the elemental damage recouped as energy shield, maybe so you don't get one shot. If you were going to build this class, you're saying it's potentially one of the strongest. What ascendancy nodes would you be taking for sure?
I think there's a 0% chance I would take that recoup node.
You wouldn't take
40% of recovery is over 10 seconds now, so it's a really, really slow recovery mechanic.
Gotcha.
And we just never know about monster types, but I think most of us are looking at the 2 Arcane Surge nodes as being almost mandatory, just because of sustain. And also, cast speed is just a more multiplier for damage.
Right.
I'm a bit of a detractor. I like the idea of going Tempest Color, scaling that Tempest Storm. The average value of an Ascendancy node offensively in Path of Exile 2 is going to be about 20% more damage, based on what we've seen, somewhere in that range. Having an extra skill that can be linked with supports, that is sort of automated, that is duration based, and it has actually okay numbers for the most part, I think has like really good potential. I think that's the medium risk option. The low risk option, I think, is to scale some amount of lightning damage, take the shock scaling, and then have that all damage contributing to shocks, and going for that sort of way of going.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's the thing is, like in Path of Exile 1, you have different ways of casting spells, you know, cast on crit. There's different ways that you can get other spells out on field. But in the case of Tempest Color, it's just like, hey, I'm going to summon in a whole thing whenever my spells crit. And if you're able to fully support that thing, it's like you've got, you know, 2 6-link spells going out all the time. So yeah, I guess that does sound pretty crazy. Maybe for the wave clear, and even just for a boss, summoning a storm on top of them that's ticking away. Okay.
It'll mostly be boss focus for sure.
Right.
It's got a pretty small AoE. I'll throw that warning out.
Okay. Yeah. So interesting. I looked at this one and it seemed pretty cool, but like I wasn't sold on it. But now that I'm thinking about the shock and the storms and the arcanes, I see the potential. Okay. So if that was, you know, in the top few that you would consider for a new player, what other ones stand out as new player friendly or just good potential that anyone jumping on is gonna, you know, succeed?
You can't really go wrong with Deadeye. A lot of people talk about Mercenary as the de facto grenades crossbow class, but I think I'm looking at Deadeye and thinking that it's much better. I guess simply put, grenades scale really well with extra projectiles, and there's much fewer sources, or the many fewer sources of extra projectiles in PoE 2.
Right.
Deadeye gives you a generic one that's applying globally and no penalty with endless munitions. The 5th Ascendancy node that they showed.
Right.
And it also pairs really well with the crossbow playstyle, because when you're playing crossbows, you have these grenades on a cooldown, but you also have the bolts that you're shooting, and a lot of these bolts you're shooting probably 5 to 10 per second. I don't know if you've seen like the mercenary backtracking, shooting really quickly with a machine gun.
Right.
That means you'll be able to stack up Gathering Winds and Tailwind really, really quickly. Whereas that would be usually hard to get the sort of speed bonuses from Gathering Winds on other classes.
Right.
So I think a baseline Deadeye setup might look like grabbing endless munitions after picking. I would personally go for Point Blank because I like to be close to the boss, have more ability to dodge, and be more reactive. That's 2 Ascendancy nodes. The third one would probably be Gathering Winds. And I think that the fourth one is just dependent. If you have a nice Frenzy scaling thing, then you take one of the Frenzy nodes. But I think Wind Ward is actually looking really solid because there's so few sources of mitigation and defense.
Right.
And with crossbows, you'll be able to stack that up really fast.
Yeah, so you're gonna go down and go point blank first, and then you're gonna go endless munitions. Okay, yeah, this is, I mean, it seems like free value. Literally all the time you're casting your skills, you're getting tailwind, and then you're getting that damage mitigation if you do end up getting hit, so you don't get one shot. What about Eagle Eyes? Like, do you need accuracy? Like, I actually haven't interacted with the accuracy mechanic that much. How valuable does something like Eagle Eyes look for you?
There might be a misunderstanding for me about this, but I thought that our accuracy scales with distance now. Like, if we're right beside a monster, it's very unlikely or almost impossible that we're gonna miss them.
Gotcha.
And I don't really necessarily see that much value in being far away from a boss unless you're playing like a fully passive playstyle, like minions or totems or something.
Right.
I'd rather be closer because think if a boss is throwing a frontal cone, you want to dodge sideways. But the further you are away, the further you'd actually have to travel to dodge that cone, right?
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I guess the other thing too is if you're looking at accuracy, like some boss arenas just might not allow you to be far enough, but you can always be close enough. So, interesting look. Yeah, I saw the Deadeye, and I agree. I think everyone's going to be going for the additional projectile, and the Tailwind just seems so easy to stack up. And then the Frenzy is almost like, it just depends on if you want to use those abilities. Okay, so there's another one that's really effective. Now, for me, the other one that I was looking at, and maybe I'm crazy, and I'm gonna get shut down here, but Witch Hunter just seems crazy for mapping or for bossing. Like, depending on what you spec into, it just seems really, really safe.
What do you like on it? Or which nodes would you be taking?
So, if I was looking at mapping, it seems like between Decimation Strike and Culling Strike, I'm just gonna like one-shot everything. Because it's gonna do an initial hit, it's gonna do my hit, and then it's gonna potentially cull them. So that seems really cool. And then also, I could put this crazy sorcery ward, and it's almost like Halo. That's what I kind of reference. It's like playing Master Chief with an energy shield, where I might get hit here and there, but then this ward is always coming back, and it just seems kind of cool. But, you know, the Witchbane and the No Mercy for this concentration thing, where the bosses just won't be using their abilities as much, and I'm doing more damage, that seems really good. But also, this Zealous Inquisition, where they're starting to explode, it's like that Impulsas or whatever that electric chess piece was. Or that mod you could get, where if you tag an enemy and you kill it, all of a sudden that whole pack is getting blown up. And I don't know, I just see like a huge wave clear thing. Like something like this might be really good for pushing maps, or just some of the league mechanics that have, you know, tons of enemies, like the what's the one that summons in the hands and it expands, or Delirium or something like that. I just see a lot of situations where these league mechanics are gonna get stomped by this, but
yeah, I think it's more polarizing for sure. The explode node is the most polarizing node I've seen so far. I personally, I see the value potentially, right? If the packs are dense, if we're getting swarmed by monsters, then that thing's gonna be insane. But if we're fighting a few monsters and they're big and thick and tanky, then
true.
Yeah, but I do like the other things for sure. I think as a generic Ascensi, it's very strong. But every node on here looks good. It's like I would say it's pretty safe probably then, right? Because you look at these nodes, you do somewhere between 5 and 30% more damage. Culling Strike is 5% more damage.
Right.
I mean, it looks solid. I don't know about the concentration though. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
That part's a little interesting.
Do you have any others that stand out as something that you think for beginners it's like looking safe, looking powerful, just like one more, or do you think we covered the main ones?
The safest that I've seen other people mention is Titan. And I don't know how I feel about this. Have you looked at it a lot?
Yep. So the Titan, you know, they've got like this kind of slam with the follow-ups, which is pretty cool. So your slam skills have a chance to cause aftershocks and have a follow-up hit, and then you have a juiced up ancestral slam. But it's actually some of the other ones that seem, at least to me, super valuable. You can get more armor, you can get those passive skills get increased with hulking form, and then just more life. There's not as many. I don't think there's any life nodes on the tree now compared to what Path of Exile 1 had, and so, you know, this is a way to get 15% more life. That seems pretty cracked.
Yeah, we are really starved for defense. I think, like, if you look at the damage type nodes on this, Earthbreaker, Ancestral Empowerment, Surprising Strike, and Mysterious probably has life, or Crushing. Those kinds of nodes I think are really safe to take. If melee is a good archetype, which it must be, right? Because if melee is a bad archetype, nobody will play it. You know,
Right.
you're up close and personal, and you're clicking them with like a pool noodle. That's like a noodle, right? It's
Right,
not gonna
right.
be very strong. So as a baseline, I think melee is gonna be strong. I will say like hulking form is probably not going to be as strong as we thought it was. From what I've heard, it's actually not going to apply to attributes, the small
Right.
attribute nodes that you can change. So that's just a weird leak fact. I'm not sure that it's totally true.
Interesting.
But if melee and slam, like their vision of how they want melee gameplay to feel, lines up really well with how the Titan Ascendancy is structured. And in that sense, I think if you're playing melee and you don't pick Titan, you might have much more variance. But if you do pick Titan, you got really, really guaranteed ways to fit into the existing playstyle that they're trying to suggest to you,
right?
And trying to like structure.
Those are some really good basic ones, but honestly, I've looked at a lot of them, and like they all, for the most part, I think you can make anything work. And as long as you have a general understanding of gearing, like even something like the Blood Mage, I was worried that maybe it'd be a little scary, but some of the nodes and some of the passives just look so powerful. And even for a beginner player, I think you could start piecing together, you know, a build that's going to work. Even the Pathfinder, you know,
Hello,
passive skill
it's
points.
Loki today. I'm going to show you how to properly use a manual breast pump for milk expression. It's a simple and
Melissa.
convenient tool for breastfeeding moms, especially when you
Oh,
need to express milk
está.
quickly and without hassle. Let's get started. Here's the breast pump. As you can see, it has an easy-to-use handle for pumping and a wide flange that fits snugly against the breast. The milk container is detachable, making storage super easy. It's made of safe plastic and can be sterilized after each use. Now let's see how to use it. I'll apply the flange to my breast, making sure it covers the nipple. Hello, it's Aoki today. I'm going to show you how to properly use a manual breast pump for milk expression. It's a simple and convenient tool for breastfeeding moms, especially when you need to express milk quickly and without hassle. Let's get started. Here's the breast pump. As you can see, it has an easy-to-use handle for pumping and a wide flange that fits snugly against the breast. The milk container is detachable, making storage super easy. It's made of safe plastic and can be sterilized after each use. Now let's see how to use it. I'll apply the flange to my breast, making sure it covers the nipple completely. Then I gently press the handle to create a smooth pumping motion. You'll notice milk starts flowing into the container. It's important to take your time and let the milk flow naturally. Pumping should feel comfortable and painless. As you can see, the breast pump works quietly and efficiently, allowing me to express just the right amount of milk in a short time. And here's the result. The container is already partially filled with milk now. I can either feed my baby directly or transfer the milk into a sterile container for storage. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this video helps you with using the breast pump. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more.
Support for NPR Music comes from BetterHelp, committed to making mental well-being a priority and offering support and taking on.
Hello, it's Aoki today.
Aren't you curious to answer all those what ifs? Then listen to the voice inside.
Hi everyone, it's Yumi today. I'm going to show you how to properly use a manual breast pump for milk expression. It's a simple and convenient tool for breastfeeding moms, especially when you need to express milk quickly and without hassle. Let's get started. Here's the breast pump. As you can see, it has an easy-to-use handle for pumping, and a wide flange that fits snugly against the breast. The milk container is detachable, making storage super easy. It's made of safe plastic and can be sterilized after each use. Now let's see how to use it. I'll apply.
Kala ko nga rin.
Update pa yung driver ko. Tangina, plano ko pa naman. Susundot ako ng freelance, 1 oras. May napagplano ka na ng build mo?
Hindi pa. Hindi
Ah,
pa.
wala akong plano.
Ikaw?
Wala, gago. Hindi ko alam.
Hindi ko rin
Enjoy
alam.
na lang natin. Pero nung iaano mo,
Simulan ko? Monk.
Chayula,
Oo.
Jang
Ay,
Rowan,
hindi. Invoker.
Invoker, Archmage.
Stormweaver yung Archmage ha. Meron ba sa Monk?
Oo nga. Tinatanong nga kita, baka Archmage yung ibuhin mo, mali.
Hindi.
Tagal mag-install ng game driver ko, gago, 2 minutes na lang.
Gago, nalimutan ko nga yung ano ko eh. Tayo na, ano ba to? Nvidia ko.
Restart lang ang PC para sure.
Hindi.
Wait lang.
The milk container expression. It's a simple and convenient tool for breastfeeding moms, especially when you need to express milk quickly and without hassle. Let's get started. Here's the breast pump. As you can see, it has an easy-to-use handle for pumping and a wide flange that fits snugly against the breast. The milk container is detachable, making storage super easy. It's made of safe plastic and can be sterilized after each use. Now let's see how to use it. I'll apply the flange to my breast, making sure it covers the nipple completely. Then I gently press the handle to create a smooth pumping. Covers the nipple completely. Then I gently press the handle to create, making sure. I'm going to show you how to
Kaya itong sprocket.
show you how
Oh.
breast pump
Sino
for
kaya yung
milk
sprocket?
expression.
Tropa mo ba yan?
It's a simple and convenient tool
Hindi.
for breastfeeding moms, especially when you need to express milk quickly and without hassle. Let's get started.
ano daw?
Here's the
Sabi ni tawag dito. Sabi ni Ian, kaklase daw. Tatay nung kaklase ni Sage na nag-PPOE.
breast pump. As you can see, it has an easy-to-use handle for pumping and a wide flange that fits snugly against the breast. The milk container is detachable. As you can see, it has an easy-to-use handle for pumping and a wide flange that fits snugly against the breast. The milk container is detachable, making storage super easy. It's made of safe plastic and can be sterilized after each use. Now let's see how to use it. I'll apply the flange to my breast, making sure it covers the nipple completely. Then I gently press the handle to create a smooth pumping. Covers the nipple against the breast. The milk container is detachable, making storage